Here are 5 more facts about the NSA. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Number 1, FBI Director Robert Mueller, Rob to his friends, did testify and point out that it is possible for the intelligence community to read, intercept, and report on emails as they come in. So there's not necessarily a waiting period of any sort. You could send an email today, and if you are a target, it will be intercepted when it is sent. 2, you don't like this? It's understandable, but you can't sue the telecoms for doing it. They do have a retroactive immunity. This case went to court, and the precedent was set by a case called Hepting versus AT&T. The judge dismissed it in 2009 due to this law. 3, so how does this work? Upon what power does this rest, legally speaking? Well, in 2007, Mitch McConnell said that the president had the constitutional authority to follow through with this, to decide who will become a target for surveillance. Now, of course, as you can imagine, that's very contentious. It's a little bit frightening that there's still such a debate about this in the United States while it's happening. It's kind of like, if you'll permit the crude analogy, it's a lot like setting a building on fire and then standing in the building and arguing about whether or not you should have set it on fire. Now with this crude analogy, we don't necessarily mean that this is a terrible thing. Many people do believe it's a terrible thing. Many other people, both in the United States and abroad, believe that this is a necessary step for national security. And this brings us to number 4. Do these surveillance programs actually work? Yes, apparently. Deputy FBI Director Sean Joyce provided some information to Congress wherein he had examples of 4 different attacks that were allegedly thwarted due to NSA surveillance programs. And this is big time stuff. If it's true, this was a thwarted attack on the stock exchange in New York City, a thwarted attack on the subway in New York City, and a couple of others. Now, in his statement, he said that they were revealing methods and techniques. Now, people who have been following this story know that this is something the NSA said they were excited to do, because once the program was exposed, Prism, Stellar Wind, etc., what they needed to focus on was saying, well, there's a reason that we're doing this. And they believe that it is a compelling enough reason to justify continual surveillance. What does the American public think? What do the foreign citizens of other countries think about how the NSA program spying affects them? Or, let's also remember that this is not a new practice by any means. This has happened before in other countries. A government has surveilled its citizenry. 5, some quick facts about the NSA center that's being built in Utah. Okay, how much is it going to cost to build this thing? Well, that's going to be between $1.5 and $2 billion. And that's the building. How much is it going to cost for software? Well, that's probably going to be another $2 billion. How much is it going to cost to run this center continually? Well, the electricity alone is probably going to cost around $40 million. But they're getting bang for their buck here, because this is an enormous facility on the order of millions of square feet. Now, that is a total number, so that's not parceled out, how much of this is actually dedicated to technical operations, how much of that is just, the front yard. I don't know if the NSA has a front yard here, but we will find out. And you can learn more about the NSA data center if you're interested in finding this information. We would recommend checking out Wired's Danger Room series. It's excellent, up-to-date looks at all kinds of foreign affairs, all kinds of government activities, and it is worth your time. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching. Matt and I are going to head out, and this NSA thing is still a developing story, so we're probably going to come back to this in the future. There's a lot of stuff we wanted to cover that we didn't get to. But in the meantime, do you want to hang out with us on Facebook? We're at facebook.com/conspiracy stuff. Now, if you don't want to hang out on Facebook, I get it. Matt and I, out of all people, get it. As a matter of fact, you might want to tune into our classic episode coming up tomorrow. It's on Facebook. If you'd rather avoid Facebook, then you can drop us a line at Twitter, send us a tweet, and if you want to cut the social media stuff altogether, we also get that. Our email address is conspiracy@discovery.com. Oh, and tune in next week when we're going to be covering several things at once, including weather, wind turbines, and a particular modification agency in Beijing. The hell am I talking about? You'll have to tune in to find out.